The next morning, we get up bright and early. Everyone seems to be in a more serious mood as we clean up camp. We're getting really close to the Shadow Temple, and the weight of what we might find there weighs on all of us. After we pack up, we continue on towards the Shadow Temple. The sky is clear and beautiful, but the sun is hot. It seems to beat on the back of our necks. The path is dusty, the sand pristine, but hard to walk in. After a while, I realize I'm getting desperately thirsty. I take a swig from my canteen, thankfully packed before heading out. I wonder how Zach can manage to keep his trench coat on. This whole time. Even Liana looks a little stiffy in her armor. Cara's the only one who doesn't seem bothered by the weather. Again. But this time makes more sense. After what seems to be forever, we come across the temple ruin into the night. The stones are charcoal gray. It seems to be humming with a deep old magic. I can feel it from here. Something fizzy and crackling. A type of energy that settles deep within my bones without having to even enter.
This is it.
Liana nods.
Yeah.
Cara grips her knives.
It's probably best we all stay close. We don't know where we're going to find Void.
That's true.
Or whatever else we might find in there.
Liana draws her sword. Her manipulator already gives off a faint glow. I ready my sword as well.
Right. Let's get going. Everyone, stay close.
We nod and together enter the temple. The temple is surprisingly dark and cool. There's a gentle moaning breeze coming from somewhere. It whiffs around the back of my neck like the lips of a ghost. A shiver runs down the length of me. I'm unsure if I should be thankful or frightened. How is this place so cold when it's located in a desert? The walls are gray and etched with glowing lime green symbols. The stones here look rough and uneven, but the ground is dry and clear of any sand. The only sounds are the hammering of my heart and the crunch of our boots against stone. We stumble through the dark, taking small steps, fearful that we could turn a corner and stumble across Void at any minute. We keep inching onward. After what feels like an eternity, we stumble across an open area inside the temple. Liana frowns.
This is strange. No one is here.
Cara keeps her voice low.
Maybe they're deeper inside the temple somewhere.
Liana's brows furrow.
Maybe. I just feel like we would have heard them, or seen them by now.
I'm kind of surprised we haven't too, but maybe they're deeper underground or something? Zach's jaw clenches.
This could be a trap.
Could be. A chill runs down my spine.
If that is the case, it does us no good to stay in one place. It is best to move on and see if we can find Void, or the Shadow Elemental.
Agreed. The others agree.
Right. Then let's keep going.
Our footsteps echo in the quiet. Zach leads the way with his guard up. Cara stays close to him, with Liana and Amelia walking side by side. I take another step. The temple seems to be getting darker as shadows curl at my feet. I squint as the light grows fainter and fainter, and the shadows grow longer and longer.
Be careful.
Liana's voice sounds far away, but she was right next to me a minute ago. Liana? My voice feels flat and dull against the emptiness. It's a magical darkness! No echoes resound. In fact, I can't even hear my friend's footsteps anymore as the shadows thicken in the air. Soon, the darkness overtakes me and I stumble, my hands out in front of me. Amy, do you think you could light us a fire? I could do that too! I'm met with silence. Amy? Glancing around, I'm surrounded by total darkness with no signs of my friends. Only a black abyss looms in front of me. I feel the tightness as the shadows squeeze closer to me. I close my eyes as I feel the whisper of a breath on the back of my neck. Then suddenly, it stops. Well, this is trippy. The library is far more quiet than I would have expected at this time of night. The only sound is the gentle hum of the air conditioner. Whoa, that was too close. I blink my eyes wide open, then I stifle a yawn as I stretch to wake myself up. Focus! Finals are just around the corner, so I can't afford to slack off. Glancing around me, I notice that I'm the only person left in the study cubicles. It is getting pretty late. I'll go back to the dorms as soon as I finish this last chapter. I flip through the book. Only a few more pages to go. I can do this. Stealing my resolve, I refocus on my textbook. The words on the books blur together as my eyelids grow heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open, but my lids continue to droop. I'll just rest them for a second. Something jerks me awake and my eyes blink open. A bright light illuminates the room, blinding me until all I can see is a stark whiteness. I throw my arm over my eyes to shield it from the light. After a few seconds pass, the light seems to dim, but it doesn't feel like the same fluorescent glow of the library bulbs. Carefully, I unwind and bring my arm down, squinting at a pale blue sky. A mild breeze tussles my hair. Blades of grass tickle my neck as they wave in the wind. Where am I? I'm about to push myself up off the ground when something pops into view. Sorry. I keep feeling like I hear something and I don't know if it's in the game or if it's like outside the window. I'm about to push myself up off the ground when something pops into view. Around a blue blob with two dark eyes blinks at me.
Boy?
Why does this guy look kind of familiar? When it notices my stare, it opens its small mouth and takes a dainty bite of my nose. Hey! The creature's bite doesn't sting, but feels like a cool splash of water. Before I can take another, I scramble to my feet. The creature tumbles off of my head and falls to the ground. Once it lands, it shakes itself off with a gelatinous tremble, clearly unfazed.
Boy!
This is weird. It hops onto my foot and opens its mouth again, but I quickly shake it off. It rolls off my foot and into the dirt, then rights itself again.
Boy!
It pouts and continues to watch me, but doesn't attempt another bite. Pongo?
Boy?
I take in the scattering of trees around me. Their tall branches kiss the sky. There's a winding dirt trail which weaves through the trees. As I follow it with my gaze, I see smoke billowing out of thatched roofs of a village in the far distance. Where the heck am I? The last thing I remember is...
Boy?
Or the last thing I remember, blah blah blah. I glance down at the blue creature. What? At my response, it leaps up.
Boy!
Whoa! The Pongo jumps higher than I remember. It startles me and I instinctively step back. I don't notice the other person until too late. That's not how it happened before. We painfully collide and I lose my balance before toppling over. I don't think so, at least. Fortunately, my hands catch myself, protecting my fall. When I open my eyes, I see a woman. Her eyes are scrunched shut and her mouth is twisted in a grimace. Her long blonde hair is splayed out around her. There she is. As she lets out a small groan, she blinks open her eyes and fixes her gaze on me. Wait, she looks familiar. This girl, I know her. Wait, Liana? She blinks.
What?
I have an uneasy feeling in my stomach. Something about her. Something that happened. Why do I feel like someone punched me in the gut?
Get off me!
Huh? A flash of blue light stings my eyes. Suddenly, I'm shoved off with a roaring wind. It groans and shoves me backwards onto the ground. Ow! Liana scrambles to her feet. She draws her sword. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Liana, what are you doing? Her eyes narrow.
How do you know my name?
What? Confusion washes over me. What are you saying? For some reason, my heart clenches. Something about Liana seems painful, but I can't put my finger on why that is. My stomach squirms. I rise to my feet. You don't remember me? Liana doesn't answer. She watches me, her gaze cool and guarded. I shift under her stare. I glance around the place. It looks like I'm in a meadow. Hey, where are we? Her defense stays up.
What do you mean, where are we?
Something just feels off. Maybe you can show me the way to the... I try to remember. Where did she take me before? She led me somewhere, didn't she? The Mage Academy. Can you take me there? I'm not sure where it is anymore.
Get away from me, you creep!
Horror washes over me. Though it is a more fitting reaction because if I know some things about this world but just don't seem to know everything, it does seem a little weird. What? She spins on her heel with a whirl of blonde hair and dashes away. What? Wait! But it's no use. She doesn't stop. This isn't right. This isn't how I remember things going. Something is off. It has to be. But I glance around. Where am I? I'm in Meadow Hill, right? Yeah, this place was called Meadow Hill. It looks the same, but somehow it still feels so different. After Meadow Hill, Liana led me... Again, that's lead. Isn't that lead? Like, passive lead is led L-E-D. To the Mage Academy, where Zack and Amy joined our group. But Cara joined us somewhere else. Where was that? Shoot. Oh, Ember Mist, yeah. Ember Mist, that was it. She helped us go through the Fire Temple. And we've been traveling together for a long time. But I can't shake this feeling that something significant happened recently. Where did we all last go together? Major! That's right, the city outside of Havengard, where Liana... My mind freezes. Where she broke up with me. It feels like I was just punched in the gut. All of this isn't right. Liana and I, we were together. We aren't strangers. This place, it can't be the real Meadow Hill. This can't be the real Isaria. As soon as that last thought passes through my head, the sky cracks. A shimmer of warmth rushes into Meadow Hill and floods it with white light. I cringe and shield my eyes with my hands. I jerk awake. The light is gone.
Boy!
Huh? I can feel the Pongo resting on my chest, but he just looks like a blurry blue blob. Blurry blue blob. Kinda hard to say that. I blink rapidly, forcing my vision to refocus. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears. Aww.
Boy, boy!
He nudges my cheek as if trying to wake me.
Boy, boy!
I'm awake, buddy. It's okay now. His little voice is tinged with distress. Hey, it's alright. I'm okay. The Pongo perks up at my voice.
Boy!
I reach out and pet the top of his head. Hey, it's okay.
Boy, boy!
He was so worried about me. He wobbles underneath my touch. I feel him start to relax. He hops onto my shoulder, snuggling close to my neck. I force myself to stand. The room sways a little. It takes me a full minute to realize I'm back in the Shadow Temple. I groan and rub the back of my head. When was that? I feel the Pongo shrug.
Boy, boy!
So you didn't see any of that? Well, I mean, all the other elementals had some sort of test before giving me their magic, so I assumed that was the case. He blinks.
Boy!
Apparently not. Was it all just a dream? I look around. Where did the others go? I blink away the rest of the bleariness from my vision and see the others are sprawled out across the floor. Like, I figure it's either the elementals test or it is a void trap. Like some sort of magical trap that they left, but I don't know. My stomach lurches with alarm. What happened? Are they hurt? Liana is the closest to me. I stumble as I rush over to her. Liana? I reach out, attempting to shake her awake. As soon as I touch her, that same blinding light explodes in my vision. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut. Then, slowly, the light begins to fade. Huh? I open my eyes. Isn't this Liana's home? We're all seated at the table for breakfast. The tension is taut in the air.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a mage knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a mage knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? But if those things happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a mage knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Liana points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill as she tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a mage knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
For once, Liana is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap, as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth as if he wants to speak, but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, We can discuss the details of the engagement.
No.
The rage returns to her father's face.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Liana's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
So is no one else gonna be... Oh, then her parents laugh. Okay, this is where the differences come in. I was just about to ask.
Fine.
Then her parents laugh, yeah. Shock spreads across Liana's face.
What?
He shrugs.
If you refuse to fulfill your responsibility as a Dawn, then you have no right to call yourself a Dawn.
I mean, I don't know if he would never say that. I totally thought he was the type to say that. It's only because he turned around at that, you know, at the end there, that I would... But I want to comfort her. None of this is right. Her father was mortified when Liana suggested throwing away her family name before. Liana, that isn't your father.
What?
She looks around. Can she hear me? I try raising my voice. Think about it. Your father would never say something like that. She freezes. Yes, she can hear me. Don't you think all of this is strange? Her head turns in the direction of my voice, but I don't think she can see me.
Liana, are you listening to me?
She turns to face him. Her posture becomes straighter.
I understand now.
She shakes her head.
I understand now. You are not my family. My father would never say something like that.
Just like before, there's another blinding flash of light. I wonder if she would have come to that conclusion on her own, or if we had to get her out of the illusion. Oh, crap. Hold on. Skipped over it. But it engulfs the room until it burns my eyes too much to keep them open. I cringe, shielding my face. After a few moments, I feel the light slowly begin to fade. When I open my eyes again, Liana is still on the ground. She gasps awake. Gasps. Are you okay? I'm still on my knees, hovering beside her.
I think so.
Liana lets out a deep sigh.
I'm happy all of that was just a terrible dream.
Yep. She shivers.
I know that's not how it happened, but hearing it was still unnerving.
I nod. Yeah, tell me about it, right? She releases a heavy breath.
Thank you.
I'm afraid to see what the other people are thinking about. I nod. Liana glances around. She must have spotted the others because her face furrows in concern.
Are they okay? What's happening to them?
I think they're trapped inside their own illusions. When I touched you, I was able to see and hear everything going on. I think we can help them too. She nods, still visibly shaken.
Right.
I help her stand and then we drag our way over to the others. Zach is the closest. His face is surprisingly calm, as if he was just cuddled up for an afternoon nap. Even so, I feel an impending sense of dread. What kind of illusion is Zach facing? I can't even begin to imagine some of the awful things he must have seen in his past as a mercenary. Are you ready? Liana nods. Together, we bend down and touch his arm. There's that same low moaning sound, a flash of light. Liana and I find ourselves at a campsite. A few silver stars wink overhead. The air is cool and calm. Fireflies blink in the distance.
Where are we?
I'm not sure. There's an abrupt roar of laughter. We turn around to see Zach sitting around a fire with a large group of people. They all burst into another wave of laughter, and Zach joins in the merriment. I was expecting something darker, but he's actually happy. Right, why not have the illusion, like, ruin one of his brighter moments? Ah, my tailbone! Ah! I've been sitting for so long! My stomach clenches. I'm not sure if that's worse or not. Zach glances over at a few cards in his hands. I notice the others are also hunched over their own cards.
Damon, do you have any sixes?
My heart gives an unpleasant twist.
Oh,
Worry crinkles between Liana's brows.
Damon. That's his old mentor, right?
I nod. I remember some of the stories Zach told me about Damon at the inn. He looks just as humble and strong as Zach described him to be. Damon chuckles. Does he have a picture?
Not today,
No, he
my
does
boy.
not. No, he does not. Zach sighs and begrudgingly takes a card from the pile.
Hey, Zach. You don't happen to have any sixes, do you?
As a matter of fact, Zack frowns. Ver chuckles. He has the same bright red hair, but he looks younger here. A few of the marks on his face look fresh, like he got them recently. Zack grudgingly hands over his cards. A grin sprawls across Ver's face. He places down several matches.
Looks like I win again.
The others throw their heads back and groan, but they're laughing. Zack shakes his head.
You always seem to win.
Ver shrugs, feigning humility.
What can I say? I'm just lucky.
Damon claps a hand over Zack's shoulder.
Maybe next time, Zack.
Zack smiles, looking appreciative. My stomach turns. Zack, this isn't real. Zack pauses. He lifts his head up and turns in our direction.
What's wrong?
He shakes his head.
Nothing. I just thought I heard my name.
Ver laughs.
Getting a little crazy there, Zack?
A faint blush dusts his cheeks. He shakes his head.
No, it was nothing.
Liana frowns next to me.
This isn't good. What if he doesn't want to leave the illusion?
Yeah, it would be hard to blame him. Hey, dinner's ready. Everyone perks up.
Oh, great. I'm starving.
One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Like, the best way to get Zack out of this is to turn the memory sour somehow, which I would hate to do for him, but otherwise, yeah, it would just be a matter of sheer willpower to pull himself away from a pleasant memory. One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Just as soon as Zack is about to dig in, someone hands Ver a bowl. It's twice the size as everyone else's. Zack barely blinks an eye.
You've got to eat up there. I can't have my star pupil going hungry.
Oh, that's the card we're gonna play with this, really? Ver flashes Damon a bright smile.
Thanks.
Damon takes a few bites of his soup.
Oh, by the way, Zack, after we're done, you can clean up for the night.
Zack blinks.
Me? But I cleaned up the last 3 times.
Damon smiles, looking apologetic.
Bear needs to have his strength to run point on the Crystal Rail mission tomorrow.
Zack blinks.
Wait,
Zack's held breath seems to leave his body.
the crystal rail.
Ver lets out a bitter laugh.
What? Did you think you were running point?
Realization washes over him. Zack's face pales.
That's not...
He shakes his head.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Zack looks like he's remembering. Hope flourishes in my chest. I think he's got this. I stay quiet. Zack obviously doesn't want to listen to us. I think he can come to the realization himself.
I ran point on that mission.
What are you talking about?
Damon raises his eyebrows.
Zack, you're not making sense. We haven't done the mission yet.
Zack's eyes go dark. It's like his very soul has flown somewhere far, far away.
No, we have.
His grip tightens around his bowl. Damon's brows crinkle. The others stare at him. Again, brows. Why is that possessive?
What are you talking about?
He lets out a nervous laugh.
You're starting to worry me.
Zack slowly raises his head. His eyes are bleak.
No,
His bangs cover his eyes.
this isn't real.
Damon shifts under his gaze.
What do you mean?
Zack looks up. He seems to have trouble getting the words out.
This was nice, seeing all of you again.
The group looks at him, but no one speaks. Zack stands up and brushes himself off.
You're leaving?
Zack nods.
I'm moving forward with my life. I'm not living in the past anymore.
He stares down at Damon. Damon finally smiles.
Take care then.
Always.
So it's interesting that when we came to our Liana and I, when we came to our realizations about it not being real, we just immediately woke up. But they let Zack extend a little bit longer so that he could have a little bit more character growth. A bright light bursts across our eyes. It's like a star exploded and filled the entire campsite. I flinch, throwing my arm over my eyes. The heat from the light gradually begins to decrease. I feel it start to dim. When I lower my arm, a few bright spots blink in front of my nose. It takes a few seconds for my eyes to refocus, and I realize we're back in the temple. Zack groans, slowly hoisting himself up. He rubs his head. Liana's brows crinkle.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Despite what happened, he seems to be at peace. These illusions use our memories. A shiver runs down the length of my spine. How does this place know so much about us? Zack shrugs. He doesn't offer any answers. Liana, meanwhile, seems just as spooked as I am.
I don't know. We'd better help the others before they slip further away.
I nod. We walk a little farther down the corridor before finding Cara. Her brown ponytail is sprawled out behind her. Her face is wrought like she's having a nightmare. She flinches as we crouch down. I notice Zack's jaw is tight. He reaches out and touches her shoulder, and Liana and I follow suit. There's a flash of light. When it fades, I find myself standing between Liana and Zack inside a small room.
My decision is final.
Huh? I look up. Zack is standing across from Cara with his arms crossed. Wait, what? I glance at the Zack beside me and then back to the scene. Is that other Zack an illusion? Kara's eyes shimmer with tears.
Why? What did I do wrong?
You know exactly what you did wrong.
Kara's face crumples.
Please, don't.
She crosses her arms, hugging herself.
Please.
Don't pretend to be sorry now. You deserve to be alone.
Like, I totally thought this was gonna be something about her dad, but no, it's the things with Zack didn't work out.
What?
Which is, okay, this is an interesting scene. The real Zack's face curdles into a snarl.
You bastard!
He lunges forward and punches the fake Zack in the face.
Ow!
He stumbles backwards, clutching his nose.
What the hell?
Fury contorts real Zack's face.
What is wrong with you? What? Who are you?
Zack strikes again. Zack strikes again, him again, so hard his head reels to the side.
Ow! Like hell, I'm gonna let you walk away from the greatest thing that happened in your life.
Aw, Zack. The other Zack rubs his jaw. His eyes stare wide at real Zack. I can see the shock and dismay in them. It's a weird look.
How are you even doing this?
Zack punches him again in response. Hold Zack back, why are you hitting? No, dude, do it. Zack seems to have the situation under control. He doesn't need my help. He just glared at me for a moment. Cara blinks.
Wait.
It seems as though she's just now beginning to process what's going on. She looks between the two Zacks. I can see the cogs turning in her head, piecing everything together. Finally, she smiles. A blush dusts her cheeks.
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
A white light shimmers. It blooms and sparkles over the entire area. Once again, we're taken out of the illusion and find ourselves back inside of the temple. I know I'm gonna interject again really quickly. I'm trying to figure out what exactly these illusions are trying to accomplish. Sometimes, because these seem to be tests, you know? Not merely obstacles, but like tests of some sort. But I don't understand what mine and Liana's would mean. With Zack's test, like, it was nice that he was, they were all about growth. Or, they should be, I feel. Like, Zack's was about him learning that, like, he had this and it was great. Things might not have been perfect, and then, but like, he's at peace with it in the end, right? And then with this one, Cara had doubts about herself and Zack, but now she's learned through that she's the greatest thing that ever happened to Zack, from the horse's mouth, you know? But like, what did Liana learn from hers? What did I learn from mine? Like, nothing with those two. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, are we actually trying, is the elemental trying to teach us lessons using our memories, or is it actually just trying to scare us off? You know, is it trying to test our willpower? I don't know. I don't know. Once again, we're taken out of the illusion and find ourselves back inside of the temple. Zack growls and swings forward, his fist whistling through the air. He stumbles and rights himself at the last minute.
Where is that guy?
He whirls around, searching for him. Cara beams. She rushes over and throws her arms around Zack. Zack freezes. Cara snuggles her head into the crack of his neck, or crook of his neck.
So,
What?
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
Zack's face flushes ruby red.
I only said that so you'd wake up.
She continues to nuzzle him.
No take-backsies.
He turns away, still red, but he doesn't fight out of her grasp. I clear my throat. You guys, we still have to help Amy. Cara blinks, noticing us for the first time, and her expression becomes serious. She steps away from Zack, but not before snatching his hand. He gives her a confused look as she interlocks their fingers.
Come on, let's go find Amy.
We walk a little further along and find Amelia. She's sprawled across the floor. Her face, usually a mask of calm, is twisted with something unpleasant. I frown, suddenly uneasy. Is it back at the Mage Academy? Before, like, Odessa stepped in? Whatever Amy is going through, it doesn't look good. As soon as I reach out and touch her arm, that same white light engulfs my vision. When it puffs out, I find myself back in Illumia.
This is the inn from Illumia, isn't it?
The inn? Okay. I look around. Yeah.
Greetings.
Is this when we accepted her into the team? Was that in Illumia? That must be. No, I don't remember. I whirl around. Amy is standing at the bar talking to Liana. I blink. Why does Amy see an illusion of Liana? The real Liana flushes.
I don't know.
I assume this is when we reject her. Amelia doesn't seem to even notice our presence. She continues on.
I am aware of the true location of Ember Mist.
My mind starts racing.
Wait. Ember Mist.
A light bulb goes off in my head. This is the day we first met Amy, when she asked to join our group. Liana nods, looking worried. Why would Amy's trial be something like this?
You're just a kid. You should go back to the academy. It's too dangerous out here for someone your age.
Amelia turns pink. Someone as young as her? Realization washes over me like cold water. Everywhere Amy went, she was treated like a kid. The academy didn't take her seriously. Even us as a group were always babying her. Okay, so if I'm trying to piece things together, I guess the main thing the game has on us is that we want Liana to like us. Zach is about finding family, like trying to find a place where he belongs. Cara, I guess, despite all of her seeming confidence, is like really, maybe she is lacking in confidence. Maybe she is insecure, or at least about her prospects. I don't know. Liana, you know, like worried constantly about like being accepted by her family. And then Amelia is being accepted as an equal, you know, as opposed to being treated like a kid. I guess those are all the concerns that the characters have, and so the trials are addressing those concerns. So I don't know if they're all necessarily learning experiences. Like, I don't think Liana learned anything from her trial, but I can see why it would be like, you know, not quite preying on everyone's fears, but on their insecurities. That kind of thing. Something like that. Everywhere Amy went, she was treated like a kid. The academy didn't take her seriously. Even us as a group are always babying her. Is this Amelia's worst fear? To always be seen as a kid, as a child?
I think you are mistaken about my age. I am a student studying to be a mage caster. I have received top marks in all of my classes.
The fake Liana laughs, shaking her head.
Aw, that's adorable. Little Amelia gets top marks. Do you want me to give you a gold star sticker?
So mean, Illusion Liana. Amelia flinches, as if the fake Liana had just struck her. Pain flashes behind her eyes. I've never seen her look this devastated before.
It would be a lot of work to protect you. I don't want to be a full-time babysitter while traveling.
Zach frowns as he sees Amy's distress. He shoves Liana towards her illusion.
Go out there and punch your fake self in the face!
Zach knows how to handle these conflicts.
What?
She stumbles, catching herself, and comes face to face with Amelia. Amelia blinks in surprise.
Why are there two of you?
The real Liana panics.
You can see me?
Yes.
The fake Liana gives real Liana a strange look, as if to ask what she's doing there.
Don't listen to this imposter, Amy. You're the one that came out of nowhere. Clearly, you're the imposter.
Also, I thought I noticed a difference before in her eyes, but I didn't have a comparison. But yeah, looking at, like, Illusion Liana's eyes, they actually are different. They lack a light to them. And I actually think that's cool. I'm glad they took the time to change that. Like, I wonder if they did with Imposter Zach, too. Amy pauses.
Perhaps this is another trial.
She taps her chin in thought.
There is really only one way to settle this.
Both Lianas stare at her.
How?
Each of you must attempt a flirtatious encounter.
It's the only way to figure this out. The fake Liana smirks.
This will be a piece of cake. I refuse!
Liana crosses her arms. Amelia doesn't even blink. She looks at the real Liana and nods.
I am certain of who the real Liana is, and I will no longer believe the lies of the other one.
Good job, Amy. The white light flashes instantly. It floods the room before fading away. A few seconds later, we find ourselves back at the temple. As our vision refocuses, Liana looks to Amelia.
How did you guess which one was me so quickly?
Do you have to ask? Come on. Cara interrupts before Amy can answer.
Because you're a prude.
Liana's eyes grow wide as she crosses her arms.
I am not.
Cara snickers. Liana looks to Zach, who shrugs.
You definitely are.
She looks at me. Yeah, you can't ask me. She quickly looks away. My chest aches again with a fresh wave of pain. What I wouldn't give to be able to feel her affection once more. I shake my head, shaking away these thoughts. Amelia, who was still on the floor, rises to a stand. She rubs the back of her head in thought.
It is most interesting you were all able to join me in the same illusion. Was it the same for the rest of you?
I mean, bit by bit, we kind of snowballed. We nod.
I see.
She still looks a bit bothered by what she saw in her illusion, but she crosses her arms.
Perhaps it would be best to keep moving. I believe that was a temple trial we just encountered. We must be close to the heart of the temple.
Makes sense. That's true. Normally, after completing a trial, we'd be sent into the room with the elemental.
Hey, do you guys see that?
She points to a door. The carvings on it are rather intricate. I can see some more symbols and elaborate swirls and whirls. It's a deep plum purple, standing out amongst the stone.
Do we attempt to open it?
Yeah? Zach shrugs.
It's not like there's another option.
Let's go. I lead the way to the door and the others follow. Cue outro, go!